It's Borges Dude, and yes, I'm back with another video, and you've read the title of the video, so you know it's all about the Mech Fan Toys take on Rodimus Prime or Hotrod. But before we look at the box, we always look at this box. And look at this box, the box. I absolutely love this art style. It captures what they're trying to do with the toy very well. And speaking of the toy, you got all the lovely product shots on the back that captures what you receive in this box quite well, but doesn't tell you about the hidden bonus. But yes, it has all this cool stuff and English, such as trucks model, not truck model, trucks model. It likes to use the word model, warrior model, car model, and the Matrix, of course. It can be fitted on the chest. Alright, we've had a look at the box. Let's start by taking a look at the figure itself. But before we take a look at Mech Fan Toys Hotrod or Rodimus, let's take a look at the wee bonus that they give you. Yes, this has become standard with the Mech Fan Toys releases. We get this wee bonus Diaclone suit. Doesn't come with a wee Diaclone man, you just get the robotic suit. It's cool. I quite like how they've done the colours to match Rodimus, as they usually do with all the other Mech Fan Toys releases, but they give you an extra Rodimus, I don't know what that would be, accentuating backpack piece that's actually within the clamshell when you open up the figure, and that plugs straight in the back and can be used in other wee Diaclone men. It's pretty cool, but I'm getting a bit bored of these Diaclone figures, so I'll probably go on eBay. Alright, it's now time to look at Hotrod / Rodimus. Now I have him in his Rodimus mode just now. I'm going to throw up a picture just so you can see what the difference is between the two. And as you can probably only see, the major difference is the fact that these shin guards come off to give that more toy looking Hotrod G1 mode. Now really these come off more for the alt mode rather than the actual figure, but it gives you that option to have either Hotrod or Rodimus Prime. But that's the only change that happens. The figure doesn't shrink slightly like it does on the original masterpiece Rodimus Prime, and the face doesn't change either. But given the size of this figure, did you expect that option to be there? Maybe, but it's not. Articulation, as you would expect for Legends, is pretty standard. The head can do that full 360 if you wish. The arm can also do a full 360, although his spoiler does get in the way. You get a bicep cut, you get the traditional elbow bend. The fist can do a full 360 if you so wish. His sidearms also flip, but that's for transformation. There's a little bit of a waist cut there. You do get a thigh cut, the leg can go out in those directions. You can get a bend at the knee. This area as well also moves to give you that extra bit of articulation. And these can move as well, but they do tend to pop off just like you've seen there, and that does unfortunately happen quite frequently with this figure. In terms of paint as well, very little. It's all done in coloured plastic, but if that keeps the cost down for a figure of this magnitude, then that's great for me. That looks like it's been tampoed on, which is cool. But yeah, not much paint detail going on at all. It's mostly painted eyes and the head crest there, plus these shoulders. But again, it is a Legends figure, and this is a way to keep costs down, which is do for me. Detail going on in the figure. There's some sculpted detail, not a lot. It really comes into its own when you look at the alt modes. But before we do look at the alt modes, I'm going to take a look at the accessories that you get with this figure. So let's take a look at the accessories you get with Hotrod / Rodimus Prime by Mech Fan Toys. We'll take a look at the other accessories before we get to the more obvious one that you get. So we're going to start off with his guns. Now this is the iconic Rodimus Prime rifle, but it does split in two, and splits in two a lot easier than that masterpiece version did, into the two small blasters, so you can hold them in Hotrod mode. They're not the same, unfortunately, but that really doesn't matter. This is a nice little extra option to have. We also do have the weapon that was in the movie and never seen again, his pizza cutter or his saw blade. Nice included it, nice we trip down memory lane, and surprisingly we get this little target master, and I absolutely really like this target master. There's a lot going on in it, particularly in the sculpting detail. It's very blocky and I quite like that. You do get a wee bend at the knee, and the arm is on a ball joint, but Oh no, you can actually move the hair. I didn't realise you can. That's pretty cool. Very nice addition indeed. But of course, the one you all want to see is the ridiculous looking battle platform. I can see where they were going with this way back when they done the original G1 toy. They wanted to echo Optimus Prime, giving Rodimus his own battle platform, but it doesn't matter what form it takes, be it G1, be it Masterpiece, be it Mech Fan Toys Legend Scale, it just looks silly, but I absolutely love how silly this looks, and I welcomed this when I seen it in the product shop. And we have him in his Hotrod alt mode. And like I was saying there, that's where taking off the panels on this alt mode really helps it shine through. You can keep the panels on if you wish, but it doesn't look quite right. With those panels off, all the colours match, it looks quite flush. And actually this looks quite a lot like the original Masterpiece release of MP Hotrod, which is really cool, the fact they managed to capture that likeness, but they've done it really well here. The only obvious thing that you can see is the wheels aren't showing there. They are in fact under here, which, well, it's a little bit different, but it kind of echoes that futuristic design of this alt mode. Transformation of this alt mode is okay. There's some challenging bits that I think it's more me than the actual mould, but my worry is the fact that these arms tab into clear plastic tabs. That's quite concerning, and I think will be a bit of a problem over time, but we won't know until a lot later on in the future. But I love the blue clear plastic windscreen, perfect. And here he is in Rodimus Prime's Space Winnebago alt mode. Just it looks so cool. Transforming it to this mode from the Hotrod alt mode is pretty simple, and it won't give you any bother. What I would say, and I've discovered this, is plug the shins back in to the legs, because it seems to hold the legs better in the tabs at the back there. When I didn't have those tabs in, they kept popping off, but for some reason it gives it that extra bit of friction. So yeah, just a wee tip there from me if you do pick up this figure, but it's pretty cool, pretty silly, and it's definitely topping the Hotrod alt mode right now. But of course, to add an extra bit of silliness, there's a wee port in there. So what can you do? You can take the Target Master and you can give him some added firepower just to make it look a bit more sillier. My final thoughts on Hotrod, Rodimus, Mech Fan Toys Legend Scales Rodimus, or Flame Commander as he's called. Do I recommend him? Absolutely. I'll point out a couple of bad things on the figure. The feet particularly have a tendency to pop off when you try to fold them together, but I haven't seen any stress marks when putting them back onto the pegs, and they still hold in pretty secure. Do be careful with Hotrod Rodimus's spoiler, as I've got a stress mark on mine because I didn't slide it into the correct place when putting him into Winnebago mode. My only concern other than those is those plastic tabs when you're putting in the arms for the alt mode. If you don't do it right, you could snap it quite easily, just being the fact it's clear plastic, so just be careful. But speaking of plastic, the plastic quality on this is pretty good. It's not, high premium at all. It's probably just about on par with standard retail releases, maybe a little bit less, but don't let that put you off. You're not going to break it unless you're doing it by brute force. For what you're getting in this figure, you're getting a Hotrod after a fashion, a Rodimus Prime robot mode. You are getting both alt modes. Yeah, there has to be some sacrifices because it being Legend scale, so for example you can see the engine block in there from the Hotrod alt mode, but this is pretty cool. And if you're a Legends collector, particularly in Legends Plus scale, which is where Mech Fan Toys and a few other Legends providers do sit, then pick this up, you won't be disappointed. It does struggle to scale with other things such as Magic Squares figures, and probably New Age as well. They'll be probably too small for figures of this size, but if you're a Hotrod fan and Rodimus Prime fan, by goodness, add this to your collection. Well, that was my look at Mech Fan Toys Flame Commander. A big thank you to Greg at Primetime Toys who hooked me up with this figure. If you're in the UK and looking for some third party figures, search Greg on Facebook under Primetime Toys and he'll be able to sort you out, I'm sure. A big thank you to all of you who have watched this video. It really does mean the world to me that you are supporting my channel. And since this is my last video before Christmas, Merry Christmas, I hope you have a good one. And as always guys, please be excellent to each other.
Merry Christmas!